Hi Muskies! I'm back for week 6 of my virtual book talks. I have 3 new books for you today, and all of them are available for you to start reading right now as free ebooks on Mac and Via. The first book I have for you today is a science fiction thriller called The Eye of Minds by James Dashner. So he is the author of many books. One you might have heard of that's pretty popular is The Maze Runner. So Eye of Minds is the first book in the Mortality Doctrine, a series set in a world of hyper-advanced technology, cyber-terrorists, and gaming beyond your wildest dreams and worst nightmare. So the main character is Michael, and he is a gamer. And like most gamers, he spends more of his time in the VertNet than in the actual world. The VertNet offers total mind-body immersion, and it's addictive. Thanks to technology, anyone with enough money can experience fantasy worlds, risk their life without the chance of death, or just hang around with virtual friends. And the more hacking skills you have, the more fun it is. Why bother with following the actual rules when they're dumb anyway? But some of the rules are made for a reason. And some technology is too dangerous to fool with. So what ends up happening is recent reports claim that one gamer is going beyond what the game has done before. He's holding players hostage within the VertNet. The effects are horrific. The hostages have been declared brain dead. Yet the gamer's motivations are a mystery. So the government knows that to catch a hacker, you have to also use a hacker. And they've been watching Michael, and they want him on their team. But the risk is enormous. If he accepts the challenge, Michael is going to have to go off the VertNet grid to the back alleys and corners of the system that human eyes have never seen before. And he's going to meet predators that he has never fathomed, these online terrorists. And that there's a possibility between the line between game and reality is going to start to blur. So this is a fantastic story because it combines action, adventure, and science fiction and gaming. So it really does have something for everyone. Also, if you're a science fiction fan and you've never read a book by James Dashner, this is a great one to start with. He really is a fantastic author. The second book I have for you today is Peak by Roland, and it is a fiction book about survival and coming of age on Mount Everest. So Roland, the author, has created an action-packed adventure about friendship, sacrifice, family, and the drive to take on Everest despite the incredible risk. The story of Peak's dangerous ascent, told in his own words, is suspenseful, immediate, and impossible to put down. So 14-year-old Peak Marcello is arrested for scaling a New York City skyscraper, and he's left with 2 choices: wither away in juvenile detention or go to live with his long-lost father, who runs a climbing company in Thailand. But Pete quickly learns that his father's renewed interest in him has some strings attached. Big strings. As owner of Peak Expectations, he wants his son to be the youngest person to reach the summit of Everest, and his motivation is selfish at best. Even so, for the climbing addict like Peak, tackling Everest is the challenge of a lifetime, but it's also one that could cost him his life. I would especially recommend this book to anyone who likes action and adventure, anyone who read Hatchet by Gary Paulson and really enjoyed it. It's a super easy read, and it really is a great storyline that transports you to a place that you are not, and lets you experience things that you could not experience in real life. The last book I have for you this week is a historical fiction book that takes place in Texas in the late 1930s. It's Out of the Darkness by Ashley Hope Perez. And even though this is historical fiction, the love story within this story is a fantastic one. So New London, Texas in 1937. Naomi Vargas and Washe Fuller know about the lines in East Texas as well as anyone. They know about the signs that mark them. They know the people who enforce them. And sometimes the attraction between 2 people is so powerful, it breaks through even the most entrenched color or racial lines, and the consequences can be explosive. So the author of this book, Ashley Hope Perez, takes the actual events of 1937 New London school explosion, one of the worst school disasters in American history, as a backdrop for a riveting novel about segregation, family, and the forces that help destroy people. 2 teens, Mexican-American Naomi and African-American Washe, fall in love and struggle to keep their relationship a secret in the racist atmosphere in 1936 East Texas. The novel weaves in the forces that lead up to this big explosion, a tragedy rooted in the era's violent abuse against minorities. So this is another book told in alternating points of view, which you all know that I love. And it does have a lot of heavy topics in it, but the characters in the love story and you, the readers, drive to just know what's right will keep you turning every page quickly. The book starts out with the school disaster that happened on Thursday, March 18th, 1937 at 3:16 p.m., and then it flashes back to tell the story leading up to that of Washe and Naomi. I'm going to read you the first 2 pages before the flashback. This is Washe's perspective. Washe drove his shovel into the flower bed and turned the soil. Fast, but not too fast. He had to be sure to earn out the hour. He liked working at the superintendent's place, liked being close to the school, liked how Mr. Crane always paid him fair. A quarter an hour was a decent take, and he was saving for third-class train tickets to the Mexican border, the price of a new life with his girl. He pulled up a loose bit of clover and brushed his hands on his pants. He'd ask for more hours tomorrow. Now that the long, wet winter was over and it was warm enough for planting, Mr. Crane would want him to fill the flower beds with petunias and pansies and the little pink impatiens that his wife favored, color to tide her over until her azaleas and rose bushes bloomed. But today the weather was too fine to waste. The sky rolled out bright as a bolt of blue fabric, the warm breeze combing back the last of the chill. It was weather for being in love, and Washe was in love. He counted the minutes until Mr. Crane would be done with his meeting and could pay him, and the minutes after that until his girl would be done with school and they could get to the tree to be together. He was thinking about his first touch for her, a kiss, one hand to her long, soft hair and the other to her waist. When a thundering roar filled his ears, the ground bucked, the trees above him lashed back and forth. Washe picked himself up and stumbled forward. When he rounded the corner of the house, he saw the walls and roof of the school crumble. He ran hard against the muddy schoolyard through drifting clouds of thick gray and black and white dust that choked and blinded him. He found the side door of the school and stumbled into what was left of the main hallway. His arms went white with dust. Grit caked his tongue. He could hear shouts from the schoolyard. The building groaned around him, but there was no other sound inside. He'd been in the school to do odd jobs, but he hardly recognized it. Now as the dust began to settle, the walls along the hall were blasted out, and what was left of the ceiling sloped at a dangerous angle. One brass light fixture dangled, bulbs shattered. He itched forward, boots crunching on broken tile. A few yards ahead there was a dark cavern where the floor had been. Above the hole, the ceiling and the second floor were completely gone. A patch of sky showed and then disappeared behind a cloud of dust. He was edging toward the blown-out wall of a classroom when he saw it. A black shoe with a worn strap and a red button. A shoe he knew. That's it for today. Just a reminder that all 3 of these books are available as free ebooks right now on Mac and Via. I'll put a link to Mac and Via and directions on how to create an account down below. Also, don't forget to visit the Muskie Library webpage for more resources and a link to the Muscatine Teacher Librarians Reading the Track series aloud by Jason Reynolds. The complete series of all 4 books, including mine, is now available for you to watch and listen to. Musser Public Library is still doing curbside pickup of books. Visit their website for more information. I'll link that below. And thank you so much for watching. This is my last official week of book talks for continuous learning, but I plan on sharing a few more videos throughout the summer, so please check back a couple times in June and July so you can make sure that you catch those. And most importantly, please, as school is ending and summer is starting, please make sure you're taking time to read.